Hello, in today's honest conversation, we are talking to the brilliant Jil Seath. Jill, lovely to have you on. Thanks for joining.
Thank you so much for having me, Charlotte.
I'm especially excited to have you on today because I know you have played a part in talking to industries about decarbonisation, and a part of that is managing the challenge of AI. And that's such an interesting topic right now. I notice it in the workshops that I run. People say to me, one of the biggest worries, aside from the normal business as usual, trying to fit in AI around it, and some of the ethical challenges. One of them is the impact on the environment, and is it even okay to use AI? So I'm really excited to jump in on this today. Where should we start with this? Where do you start? Where do companies and industries start with this?
I think when it comes to AI, it's much like when we started using calculators, as my professor would tell me. So, see, you had to adopt using computers, you had to adopt using calculators, and that changed entire way world works. So is AI. You need to adopt it, but in a way that is more ethical. And I think it's a steep learning curve at times because AI is progressing so nicely right now, and yeah, you just need to make sure you have your pros and cons weighted against each other, and you use it wisely.
Yeah. And what are the biggest challenges right now in terms of the environment and AI use?
So one would be the energy consumption. Not
Yeah.
only do these data centers that uh, these language models would use so much fresh water to kind of keep the servers going. Sometimes it can even be as much as using entire energy worth of Japan to just get it going.
Oh,
And
seriously,
another,
that's a lot.
yeah, it's crazy. Like it's like one third of like it can uh, apparently use the consumption and emissions equivalent to aviation industries at times. So it depends on
Wow.
how you are using AI, and uh, I think it's all about using it wisely. Uh, Say a video, if you're generating AI generated video of 5 seconds, that would be like an hour's use of microwave. So, how you are putting
Wow.
the prompts and what you are using it for is kind of essential to think about when you're using it.
That's a huge. So, what I'm hearing is there is a huge impact realistically on the environment. I think there have been sort of research and whispers on the internet about how much, and that is huge. The impact you said. I mean, the aviation industry, that is, it's it's probably one of the top sort of, as an individual, I suppose, top things that cause negative impact on the environment to use as an individual. For leaders and their teams, what would be some good advice for them in terms of, if I mean, it seems like AI is here to stay. Often companies that adopt it and embrace it are sort of going to be a bit ahead of the game from competitors. So I can imagine a lot of people are feeling right now, well, I really care about the environment and I also need to run a business and be successful. So how do they balance that out? What would be a good way for them to manage that if they're sort of environmentally minded?
Yeah, I think big responsibilities comes on the top management of these industries for ethical adoption of these AIs. So I
Mm.
can give you an example where McDonald's was doing a pilot study with like IBM, and they did this AI based ordering system for 100 of their stores, and they couldn't catch accents and kept messing up the orders. So it's all about how you adopt things and how you go
Right.
around it and do proper piloting before kind of just going with it, because the cost of it can be enormous at times. But on contrary, it can also keep saving you resources. So say if you are using machine learning and AI, you can visualize your market trends, get a competitive advantage over other things, and you can actually save lots of resources. So there are some companies that I talk to, they also use AI and machine learning to kind of extract data, extract resources in an optimal way, and it can actually save lots of carbon emissions in long term. Then if you are talking about how much it is the machine learning model is using itself, like it can actually help towards sustainability.
That is really interesting because I guess there's, oh, sorry, lost my headphone. I guess there's an element of AI use where, because it, I guess for some roles or for some tasks, because it's so efficient, it actually saves you maybe a day of searching the internet, right? I mean, I've heard people say with research, for example, they can find something in 5 minutes with an AI bot that potentially they couldn't, that it would take them days or weeks to do the full on research. So I guess, is that the case, that sort of if it's going to stop you needing to drive somewhere, say to a library to get the information, or to spend hours on the internet, maybe it could in some cases be beneficial in terms of carbon footprint?
Yeah, I do agree with you. So, say for example, I'm using Claude, and Claude can take over 300 pages worth of documents or 10 documents at once. And
Yeah.
I tell it to summarize or ask it question based on those documents. Then it doesn't essentially need to go to entire web to search for the sources or things like that. And it saves me time on keeping my screen on to go through that document and everything for maybe 2, 3, or 5, 6 days, and it offsets those carbon costs, right? Switching on my laptop, making use of my resources and my brain as well, and it kind of minimizes it. And so is for research. I mean, it does come with its biases, so you should always have your brain on when you are actually
Yeah.
using AI and the models. Because say models like ChatGPT can hallucinate a lot. And when we are talking about AI, we are not just talking about the language models, say ChatGPT or Gemini or something. We are also talking about the technologies that come with it, or machine learning, and how it makes things accessible for people. Say even for blind, there are these apps that they can use, and it would if they point their mobile phone towards something, it would describe entire thing for them. Or say for farmers, they can just take picture of a plant, and it would help them uh, through machine learning. It would go through that. They would upload this image into the data source, and it can tell them potential diseases that that plant can have, or how to treat them. And it's so much kind of easy with AI, and accessibility has come a long way since AI, I think.
That's so interesting. So I guess for farmers, that could potentially stop a whole load of crop being ruined because AI have detected it early. And that is so interesting. I hadn't really thought of that. And so you're saying as well about people who are blind, for them to have sort of increasing accessibility. I've noticed, and I try to do it on all the videos. Make sure I have the writing so that people that are deaf can still access these videos. So, and I guess that is, yeah. So there's huge benefits, and what I don't want to do is leave this conversation giving the impression that actually AI is completely ethical on in terms of environmental impact. But I guess being knowing things we can do to reduce the impact or potentially balance it out if those occasions are possible, if it's possible. I think a lot of people would love to, yeah, to love to know more about that. So in terms of leaders in organizations and supporting their teams to use AI, but wanting to be as sustainable as possible, are there any things people can do on like an individual level or a team level that could help to just almost reduce their footprint?
Uh, yes. So I think one of the thing you can do is um, get a prompt engineering course. So if I
Okay.
if I talk about it, say if you're writing AI, like if you're conversing with a language model and you're saying, please, can you summarize this for me? It would actually end up spending more energy. So if you just say, summarize this for me and order it, not only the answer would be efficient, but it would end up using less energy. So be succinct with your prompt, and yeah, the prompt engineering can help you a lot and save lots of energy in long term, because you are not putting prompts that wouldn't give you the output you want.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me today, Jill. It's been lovely speaking to you. And I just wanted to do a little shout out. You've recently done a TED Talk as well. So if anyone hasn't seen it, go and watch it. It's great. You can find it online. Lovely to see you, Jill. Thank you.
Lovely to see you. Thank you so much.